And breaking tonight, a US judge has refused to grant Meghan Markle's request to stop depositions being taken, meaning that she and Prince Harry will be grilled by her sister Samantha Markle's lawyers. But a judge warned the case may be ripe for dismissal before the depositions take place. The legal battle has been brought by friend of the show Samantha, who is challenging claims made in the couple's 2020 biography Finding Freedom and their March 21 toxic tell-all with Oprah Winfrey. Samantha is pushing Meghan to make 38 separate admissions, including that neither the late Queen nor King Charles III were racist, considering Harry would be forced to speak under oath and the couple's demonstrated fondness for, shall we say, stretching the truth. Could the single case see Harry caught up in his own web of lies? Well, to answer this and much more, I'm delighted to welcome the world's top royal author. He, of course, published Revenge, Meghan, Harry and the War Between the Windsors, Tom Bower. So, Tom, this feels like a significant development tonight. What's happening?
Well, if I was Meghan, I'd be undoubtedly very worried tonight. What the judge decided was that Samantha Markle's action for libel, defamation against Meghan, she's, of course, the half-sister of Meghan, has got to go to depositions. The judge did not say the case will be thrown out, only that some of the questions may be withdrawn. But what that really means is that Meghan is going to have to answer all Samantha's questions from her lawyers, whether she lied about Samantha, about Thomas Markle in her notorious interview with Oprah Winfrey. So that's a major breakthrough for Samantha Markle, for Thomas Markle, and for the truth.
So what is Samantha trying to get out of this case? Is she trying to prove that Meghan lied about her upbringing?
Well, what the essence of it is that in the interview with Oprah, Meghan claimed that she never even knew Samantha and that she was brought up as a single child. And that Samantha...
Which your book debunks.
And which we know but from Thomas Markle is totally untrue. But what she also claims is that Samantha only called herself Markle when Meghan was engaged to Harry, which Samantha says is a total lie. Interestingly, Samantha also says that Meghan's story about having a Ford Explorer where she could only get in through the boot was also untrue. She goes through a whole load of Meghan's lies. So by July, that is what the judge has said, these depositions, this cross-examination of Meghan will take place for the trial to start in October. So Meghan really has a problem because until today, her lawyers have been saying this is so ridiculous, we refuse to even engage with Samantha Markle. They stonewalled. Now, at the moment, they were going to be forced to.
So, I mean, this is a huge development, Tom, because we saw in the case against a British newspaper that Meghan can be tripped up by her lies. Because remember, she said, oh, I had nothing to do with that odd little bloke, Omid Scobie, and his terrible hagiography, Finding Freedom. And then she had to say, oh sorry, Judge, actually, I did know about it, and I did allow my communications officials working at the palace to be involved. So she has a track record of being tripped.
Well, and she's not going to find in America the same sort of appalling judges as she has helped her here. Where the judge said about her outright lie, it was an unfortunate lapse of memory. Yeah. You know, the judges in America aren't so supine, and she's going to find it very tough, and that's going to be very interesting. I mean, her whole attitude ever since Harry's book was published has been fascinating. Her disappearance from view, her silence since last year.
What do you think's going on?
Well, I think she's building up to something very big. There's a very interesting story earlier this week that she was seen having a series of lunches with Gordon Getty, the 89-year-old billionaire oil man at the Beverly Hills Hotel. People are wondering what's all that about. Well, clearly she wants money to build her coffers for various things. But, you know, Meghan is a shrewd operator. What happened today in the court is going to upset her plans, but she's defiant. She's determined, in my view, to build a career in America, a political career, and much more. And her lies possibly will now trip her up.
Tom Bower, the man who literally wrote the book on the Sussexes' war against the monarchy, says Meghan Markle should be very worried about the latest ruling in this defamation case. And let's be real, Meghan's had her fair share of legal headaches, but this could blow up everything. Why? Because once you step into a courtroom in a defamation case, the truth has to come out. And if Meghan's been less than honest, let's just say that's going to be exposed in black and white. No Netflix spin. No Oprah sympathy. Just cold hard facts. Let's not forget Meghan's no stranger to the courtroom. Remember the Mail on Sunday lawsuit? She technically won, but only after being caught out for misleading the court about cooperating with her biographers. And here's the thing. Judges don't forget that kind of behavior. Bauer points out that this new ruling could open the floodgates. Meghan's been playing the victim for years, but in defamation cases, you can't just rely on PR. You need evidence. And if the evidence doesn't line up with her narrative, oh boy. So what's the big deal? According to Bauer, this ruling could force Meghan to hand over emails, texts, even private communications. Imagine what's sitting in those archives. We're talking receipts that could expose years of lies, manipulation, and hypocrisy.
But Tom, aren't things turning quite toxic for her in the US? I mean, we saw last week Oprah Winfrey's sort of unofficial 69th birthday, attended by the Hollywood glitterati, and Meghan a very noticeable absence. And just like with the Obamas, there's speculation, at the very least, that some of these Hollywood friends are very concerned about the way that Meghan and Harry can't keep their mouths shut and have been sharing private conversations.
Well, I think there's that angle that they have been worried. But Oprah, after all, was severely damaged by her interview. Her status for having allowed Meghan utter one lie after another, not challenging her as a fearsome interviewer, crashed after that interview.
Because she became a propagandist, didn't she?
Absolutely, and an accomplice to her lies. But also, I think that they don't want to have someone who is going to detract attention, which is the very reason why Harry shouldn't be invited to the coronation, because he'll distract from the event. But I think Meghan as well is very cleverly decided that if she disappears from view for a period, then when she reemerges, she'll be unbelievably, sensationally attractive to people. What has she been doing? There's an art of mystery about it all. She's, after all, a Hollywood actress.
No, indeed, that's my theory on this too. I think, don't get me wrong, she knew that things around Spare were going to become very hot, and she thought, well, I'll let my husband take the flak for that. But actually, her disappearance is giving her more power in these negotiations that we believe are going on right now with the woke Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, who is on the behalf of Prince Charles, King Charles, trying to get them to the coronation. And I think Meghan's silence at the moment helps her, because it almost looks as if she's rising above it all, when in fact we know what she wants to do is negotiate concessions.
Absolutely.
From the royal family, which is unbelievable to me.
Well, her silence is power. That's the whole point. And she's brilliant at freezing people out, as her father and many of her former relations have discovered. She's terrific at exercising influence by being invisible. She's not diluting in any way her importance by being away from the scene, and that is exactly what's happening, yeah.
Tom, I wanted to finish with a quick note on William and Kate, because the Princess of Wales specifically has hired this new woman, Alison Caulfield, to work as her private secretary. Now, this is quite an interesting hire, Tom, because this isn't necessarily a normal royal person. She's actually Jamie Oliver, you know, the celebrity chef, his ex-campaign manager. Now, we know with Jamie Oliver, he's got a real tradition of dominating the spotlight, running political campaigns. Is this sort of part of a fight back by Kate?
Well, I think it's a very clever program, a strategy. Ever since Meghan hit the scene, Kate has had to revise her game. She can no longer be the sort of the docile middle-class shrinking violet. She had to appear good, she had to dress much better, to have better makeup, and perform better. And in the end, the royal family depends, its fate, much on Kate's performance and on her character and personality. She is a great woman and will become greater with age. So I think what she's doing is she's just developing. Rightly so. Rightly thinking, I've got to modernize, I've got to be young, I've got to appeal to people who are very dubious about the monarchy, not least because of Meghan and Harry's book and all the rest of it. And so I think she should be applauded for finding people who can advise her how to appeal to those who are dubious about the monarchy, who want to be reassured that the fate of the monarchy is in good hands. And that, I think, is very much in Kate's interest and our interest too.
And here's the kicker. Once her credibility is destroyed in court, it's not just the case that suffers. Her entire brand collapses. Hollywood, Netflix, Spotify, Archwell, gone. Because who's going to invest in someone proven to be dishonest under oath? But here's the question nobody's asking. What about Harry? If Meghan goes down in court, does he go down with her? Remember, so much of his public image, the lawsuits, the interviews, have been tied to Meghan's version of events. If she's exposed, his credibility goes up in smoke too. At the end of the day, Tom Bower's warning is crystal clear. Meghan should be very worried. This isn't just another PR battle. This is the law. And if the courtroom shines a light on the truth, it could be the beginning of the end for Meghan's carefully crafted image. So what do you think, folks? Is Meghan really in danger of being exposed in court? Will this defamation case finally unravel everything she's been